Hello, it's Mirna from Project My Room, and today we're going to talk about basic knots. Today we're going to learn about the square knot. I have prepared my threads and wooden stick. Today we're not going to worry about the length of our threads because there will be a whole video explaining how to cut your threads. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to find the middle of my threads to start forming my lark's knot on my wooden stick. Form lark's knot, find the middle of your threads, and then put the loop on top of the wooden stick, and then form the loop going underneath it, and inside the loop that you formed, you put the end of your threads in it. I'm gonna form 2 lark's knot today to start with the square knot. It is called a square knot because it needs 4 threads, just like a square. With 4 sides, it needs 4 threads to be formed, so I have to do 2 lark's knot to start my work. Now I'm gonna separate my threads. I'll pull one to the right, and I'll pull one to the left, and then I'll have 2 in the middle. Always keep the middle threads on your palm, resting like this. Now I'm gonna take my left thread and I'm gonna form a triangle, laying the thread on top of the middle threads. Now I'll take my right thread and I lay it on top of the triangle thread on top, and then I'm gonna go below all threads and inside the triangle loop that I have formed. I'm gonna pull my threads, and this is the first phase of the square knot. To complete it, I'm going to do the same, but in the opposite side. I'm going to form a triangle using the right thread. I'll lay the thread on top of the middle threads, and then the left thread on top will go below inside the triangle loop that I have formed, and I'm going to pull my threads. And here you go, you have your first square knot. The square knot is a basic knot. I do understand that you'll have to replay the video again and again to get the hitch of it. It's very important to practice this knot if you want to work with macrame. What's fun about this knot is that we can alternate the work using this knot. So I'm going to teach you how to alternate between 2 or 3 square knots. First of all, I'm going to fill 2 lark's knots. This means adding another 4 threads to form another square knot next to the one that I have formed previously. Let's start. So I'm going to separate my threads, leaving 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and I'm going to take the 4 in the middle. And using these 4, I'm going to form another square knot in the middle, just below the 2 previous ones. Now we call this an alternating square knot. And you can see here, by doing that, I have formed a small triangle using my knots. Okay, let's do some analysis now. So you have these shapes that I formed using a square knot. The first one is a consecutive line of square knots. Now, what we have to understand is not all lines are at the same length at the end of the square knot. So you have 2 that are shorter than the rest. Which 2? They are the one on the left and one on the right that were wrapping themselves around the middle thread. By alternating the square knots, you can form different shapes, and you can see in here that I have formed 2 triangles by doing 3 square knots, 2 and then 1, 2 and then 3. And if you see it, it looks like an X, or like 2 triangles above each other. And on the right, you can see that I have done 3 consecutive knots, and after filling 2 lark's knots on the right and left, I did 2 square knots on the left and right, and then continued with 3 consecutive knots, forming a geometrical line. But it's very important to practice this knot since it's a basic knot. You have to keep on practicing it until you get the hit of it. Thank you for watching.